Hello, BookTube, me again, and I'm gonna finish this shelf. I feel like I've been on this shelf for absolutely months. So I think this is part five. I could be wrong, and I usually take them in sections of 10, but this time I'm just going to take it towards the end of the shelf or never finish it. Thankfully, about a couple of months ago, I did a big unhaul. I must have got rid of about 500-600 books. So these shelves were double stacked all the way up. If I did it back then, we'd never leave this shelf. We'd be stranded here forever, doomed. I'd be like a Swiss Family Robinson, you know, with the long hair and the big scrabbly beard. So I'm just going to fly through these and see what's still on show you what's still on my shelf. Just move me granddad's eyeglasses out the way. And usually with me, I can't remember where I left off in the last video. I think it was the North Korean one, wasn't it? Nothing to envy. I think so. So let's start for me then. So this is Hold Your Hock. This is Scars of Independence. This is a look at the independence, the American War of Independence from the British Empire. This is, oh yeah, how did it work out for you, States? You should have stayed with us. Come home. And this is a kind of like a more realistic look at the start of the American, what kicked it off, and you know the battles between the British and the Americans. And it's basically looking at this propaganda on both sides. There's brutalism on both sides. This is a really, really good look. I don't think it's that long either at the American War of Independence, and it's a really good read. I really strongly suggest it. Okie dokie. Oh, the next one is by Pamela Stevenson, and it's one of my favourite comedians ever. This is Billy Connolly. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best biography in the world, but I do like some Billy Connolly, and this is, you know, this is really looking at his life, his hard growing up in Glasgow, and then his entry into show business, his relationship with his dad, which wasn't great, and then how he met her, and then his kids, and then his stand-up career. It's an okay book, to be honest with you. If you don't know much about Billy Connolly, pick this up, because everything you need to know about Billy is in this book. And it's all right. It's all right. It's good. Oh, I think I mentioned this author in my last one. I think so. Yeah, this is Michio Kaku. This is again my pathetic attempt of trying to understand this stuff. I mean, normal physics, okay, I can maybe grasp it, but Kaku usually writes stuff that just goes completely over my head. So the last one I showed you was more about, you know, the Big Bang and relativity and quantum mechanics and how they all interacted with each other or didn't or don't. This one is more about time travel and parallel universes. I know, yeah. My simple brain just can't get my head wrapped around this stuff. I mean, it's good reading, don't get me wrong, but you know, this is maybe not for the layman's. This is complicated stuff. I think it's okay, you know, even though I don't completely understand everything what's going on here. Yeah, I kind of love that kind of stuff anyway. So that's Michio Kaku, you know, parallel worlds, what's going on beyond the horizon. So that's free. Oh, here we go. So this is Mary Beard. Mary Beard is obviously famous for her Roman Empire history, and this is SPQR, her most famous one. This is an overarching look at the Roman Empire. So I think it's about 1,000 years history or something like that. Yeah, it's about 1,000 years. So you know, it's grown up like from Rome and the Republic to the Empire, and then its separation to the east and the west, and then the collapse of the west, and then the final collapse of Constantinople. So this is going through the absolute lot, and Mary Beard did a terrific job with this. This is really, really good overarching look at the Roman Empire. And with books like these, you can always see what you're interested in. Oh, you know, I like Augustus, or I like Julius Caesar, or Septimus, or you know, even before Julius Caesar, how the Romans conquered Britannia. It's all all the like pit stops all over the place. So this is a really good overarching look at the Roman Empire. Oh, a bit of a scholarly work here, and it's a bit of a chunker. I think there's better history works out there. This is William L. Shira. I'm not really sure how you say that. This is the rise and fall of the Third Reich. Absolute monster. Don't get me wrong, this is a good overlook of the rise of the Third Reich. You know, how it, at the end of the First World War, there was anger in Germany that led to the rise of the Nazi Party, and then the rest is history, really, isn't it? This is a good overarching look at those 20 years, or whatever it is, 20, 30 years in the early 20th century. This is more of a scholarly work, if I can say it that way, right? And I wouldn't suggest you read this as if you want a more like overlook of the Third Reich. I wouldn't start with this book at all. This book is more for, I know what's going on. I just want, a different flavour to it. Get this book. Okie dokie. Here's another Bill Bryson. I've got them scattered everywhere here. So this is Mother Tongue. So this is basically looking at the English language, how it originated, how it then, transformed, and, how new words appear. This is a typical Bill Bryson, sarcastic, humorous way of writing things. And yeah, this is probably it's one of the weakest Bill Brysons, because it's not really a travelogue, which I love more, or one of his biographies. But this is still a good look of how the English language came about, and then how it transformed, and then slang as well. It talks about a lot of slang in here. So that's another Bill Bryson book. All right, okie dokie. If you're looking at, I talked about the rise. You can see sneak previews, can't you? Boo, here you go. If you want an overarching look at a war, and you don't know where to start, so you want that, you want that bridge, you want to know everything about it, then you can, I like that bit, I can go straight into it. You won't get a better author than Max Hastings. This is his overlook at the Korean War. It does a really good job, Max Hastings. It's really welcoming, reads fine, well researched, well written. You can't go wrong with Max Hastings. He really, even of others, he just looks at battle. When he just looks at a battle within a war, even those books are spectacular, and you don't really need any prior knowledge, because he does deliver it to the masses. This is really good, and his look at the Korean War is also excellent. Okay, you probably spoiled this one. I think this started a collection of the Vietnam ones. So this is Mark Bowden. This is issue 1968. This is a look at the starting to fall apart of the Vietnam War. This is when things started to go, oh crap, something serious is happening right now. This is probably one of the biggest battles in the Vietnam War. So before this, the American administration was basically selling to the American public that, it's the war in Vietnam's going fantastic. The Viet Cong are fleeing, there's not much left. We've managed to get all of them. And then Hugh is like a Vietnam, what's the word? Not festival, holiday thereabouts. And everybody thought, nothing's going to happen. And then the Battle of Hugh happened, where the Viet Cong attacked several cities across the south, and including my brain fart. I've just had a brain fart. What was the city in the south called? If somebody knows, don't message me down. But the main city in South Korea, South Vietnam. No, it'll come to me when I'm talking about something else, I can guarantee. And a couple of big military targets as well. So this is when the Viet Cong properly attacked the Americans. And after this, it all started to fall apart. So this is 1968. It's already begun. And Mark Bowden does a fantastic job at writing this as well. Yeah, it's very engaging. It's like on the ground kind of way of writing. I strongly suggest it. Continuing the Vietnam. you know what, that city's going to wind me up. I've got keep on saying Singapore in my head, and it's not Singapore. Singapore's a country. Oh! Anyway, this is Nick Tace. This is Kill Anything That Moves. This is, again, this is another Vietnam book. This is brutal. This is bloody. So everybody, well, if you know a little bit about Vietnam, it's the one the massacres was in My Lai. I think that's how you pronounce it. Was when the Americans went in there and just slaughtered a load of innocent people, and basically, you know, the American administration saw that as, you know, that was, you know, the standouts. They were the anomalies and stuff like that. And this is basically looking at, no, this is happening all over the place, and this is a brutal account of what, you know, some of the sick things what happened to innocent people in Vietnam. So yeah, if you, it may not be for anyone because this is brutal. This is a brutal book, but fascinating nonetheless. Oh, you're talking about weird books. This is, mind you, this is Helter Skelter by Vincent Pelusi is his name. Bugalisi? How'd you say his name? Bugalisi? He was the prosecutor in the Charles Manson trials, and it's what this book is about. It's about how he gathered the evidence to convict him. This is probably one of the great true crime books out there. This is the problem I have sometimes with true crime is because I've read quite a few of them. I don't think it's. I'm trying to find the right word. I don't find it. I'm trepidatious. I'm uneasy. It makes me feel uneasy. You know, like there's people out there who will go in just to someone's house and like Tate and just kill her. And there's some other true crime ones where it gets properly in detail. And you're like, oh, if that happened to one of my family or one of the person I loved, how would I react? You know, it gets all that, you know, thoughts going on. But this is a great look of the cult leader, which is Charles Manson, and how he went about getting his minions to go around and kill people. They even killed their own attorney in the book, which he talks about. So this is if you've not read Helter Skelter and you're into true crime, pick it up. It's fascinating. Yeah, and it's written by the guy who prosecuted Charles Manson as well. I believe Vincent, I can't remember, what's his, Bugliosi? He also wrote I've got it somewhere, I think, debunking the JFK conspiracy. I mean, I don't know, that's a term as well, and that's equally as fascinating as well. That's South Vietnam City is still doing my head in. Oh, so here we go. We go to the Monarchy series now. I do not suggest this book. This is Henry II. This is part of the Monarch series. This is by W.L. Warren, and the reason why I don't suggest this book is because, again, this is a scholarly piece of work. This is what you'd find in universities. As you can tell how boring it looks. But I actually know quite a lot about Henry II, and this is one of my favourite books about him. He's a very he's probably one of the best medieval kind of kings that we've ever had. This is delivered in a really, really compact, great way. I mean, I say compact, it is a big book, but not for a few. There's a few books out there about Henry II, and this is definitely the strongest contender. It's just, you know, it's a bit weirdy. I'll say that. That's Henry II. Back to Vietnam. This is They Marched into Sunlight. This is, what month is it? Is it October 1967? So this is looking at the Vietnam War in a microcosm. So this is looking at October 1967 and everything that was happening around it. So we're talking about soldiers on the ground in Vietnam. You're talking about back home in the US, how the Johnson administration was dealing with things, and also what was happening, you know, just on the, you know, in universities and campuses at the time this was going on. So it's looking at those kind of three areas, and then just telling you, you know, how things got worse, and then what, you know, what was going on at that time. And this is a great little look at of the war in 1967 and how the, you know, LBJ's administration was trying to spin it, how they didn't know how to end it, and how the American population started to get wise to it. You know, like what's going on here. This is a great little look, and once you've read your overarching Vietnam book, this is one of the first ones you should pick up after you've read that, because this is a really, really good book. This is one of my favourite Vietnam books. Back to Vietnam. This is another. Oh, you know, this is an overarching look at the Vietnam War. This is by Ken Burns. Yeah, Geoffrey Ward and Ken Burns is the famous documentarian, isn't he? And what can I say? This is looking at the whole history of the Vietnam War. This is looking at how things started to fall apart after the French left in South Vietnam, and then the American ground invasion, all the way through all the battles, all the way through all the lies, and then the Nixon administration, and then the eventual collapse of when the Attaflee at the top of the United States Embassy. I've read a lot of overarching, you know, look at the Vietnam War. This is probably my second favourite. And I think I picked this book up after I watched the documentary on, I think it was Prime. But yeah, this, if you can't get me, hang on. Yeah, it's coming up. If you can't get your hands on the other book I'm about to mention, pick up this book, because it's equally as good. No, maybe not equally as good, but almost as good. And this is a really well written, digestible look at the Vietnam War. Okay, back to Monarchs. This is David Carpenter, and it's looking at Henry III. This is a chunker, and it's one of my favourites. I don't think the second part is this till 1258 it goes up to. So this is the first part of his life, Henry III. Henry III was probably, David Carpenter also writes fantastically. This is really, really good biography of Henry III. Henry was an okay king, Henry III, but he started to butt heads against the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta basically restricts the king's power, and then the Lords. I think this book ends when the Lords finally rope him in, and then I think the second part's going to be, you know, how the king and the Lords coexist with each other and rule until his son took over. So yeah, if you're into your monarchy series, again, this is a problem with the monarchy books, especially if you're looking at the older kings. They're all big books, folks. So yeah, if you know Henry III, I like Henry III, read this. We're back with Bill Bryson. This is The Road to Little Dribbling. So this is a sequel to Notes on a Small Island. Notes on a Small Island being a travelogue of the United Kingdom. So this is he's basically going over old grounds and then re-reporting how things have changed over that time. I love Bill Bryson. I prefer Notes on a Small Island to this, but I love Bill Bryson. Again, it's a sarky, witty kind of comedy the way he delivers stuff, and yeah, it's a travelogue of the UK going around the place and getting into hijinks. All right. And we're still with Bill Bryson. So this is home. So this is looking at, you know, the home comforts in a tin. This is what it's looking at. And again, sarcastic, witty, funny. Bill Bryson at home. It's looking at all your home. Actually, is this in the... Oh no, I thought it was looking at American homes, but that's how the English home has changed over time. So you're looking at, you know, from, you know, heavy imperial days to the Industrial Revolution, and then, you know, or decline in power, and then swinging 60s. So it's looking at, you know, how within the home, how Britain has changed throughout all those years. And the final one, oh, I've nearly got to 20 minutes, is, I said to you before, if you're looking at for an overarching look at the Vietnam War. Again, it's an author that's been mentioned. This is Max Hastings, The Vietnam War. I've read so many. This is by far the best overlook at the Vietnam War, in my opinion. So, and so what really love about this book is uh, it not only looks at the American involvement in Vietnam, it also is from the French, when the French were there. So it's basically from 1945 onwards, and how the French were trying to take back the former colonial possessions, and how they were just failing, and then the American administration was just, you know, give them more money, give them more money, give them more money, until they were just blown out the water and had to get out of there. And that's when things started to fall apart, with the South Vietnam government being corrupt and change, and then the Americans got involved. So this is going from 1945 to 1975, to 30 years of, I mean, it's known in common as First Indo-China War, and then the Second is it Indo-China War? Have I got that right? Well, you know what I'm saying anyway. So yeah, this is a really, really good look. There's plenty of photos to look at. Max Hastings is a fantastic writer. If you're looking at an entry into the Vietnam War, this is definitely your book for you. And anyway, I still haven't remembered that city, the capital city of South Vietnam. Why have I had a brain thought about this? Why can't I? Because I've got that Singapore in my head. I know it's not Singapore, but I won't shift. And it's not Seoul. Come on. Do you know what? As soon as I switch this off, I'm like, oh, of course. Anyway, I'm off. And we finished this shelf. Way. I won't jump onto this shelf underneath it, because again, that's all non-fiction. So I might jump to the next shelf up, which is a bit of science fiction fantasy, maybe, or maybe jump over there, or I might go straight to the top and talk about some of the graphic novels I've got up there. Who knows what I'll do? Who knows what I'll do? But I'm waffling. I hope you enjoyed that, folks, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.